Hello, my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to talk about everything I learned about Laravel in the past. So I'm going to cover database, models, passport, and authentication, routes, controllers, collections, and arrays, Laravel's new resources requests, working with filters, bulk upload, jobs and queues, and how to send email via Gmail. So I'm going to document this so I won't forget. So first, setting up Laravel, you can do that by going to Laravel's website, official site, and following the instructions there. After that, you got this set up. And so what are we building today? Okay, so we're building a logistic system that helps the companies track their packages. So we are going to have simple tables. We're going to have a package table, like the package history, and what else? Users, of course, and the status, package status table. Okay, um, so first thing that I did is to create the migrations table using PHP artisan make the command PHP artisan make migration. Yes. So I just created migrations for packages, histories, and status. And then I created the seeds. So the seeds uses factories. So the factories, the Laravel already has fakers inside. So with a faker, we can generate like fake names, fake phone numbers, emails, whatever. So the seeds call the factories, and in this case I literally just created them without the seeds. Okay, so there. So after that, everything is being called in this file, database seeder, and then I run php migrate fresh seed dash dash seed. Migrate fresh means it drops all tables and rebuilds the migrations. So sometimes I like to do it from scratch. So migrate fresh dash dash seed, it seeds everything, and then so that's for the database. Next we have the models. So we've already got the package table and the histories and the statuses. So the package table can have many histories inside it, and the histories can have one status per history. So we set that up here in the models. So for the packages, later we'll get back to this. So the package has history, has many. So just take note that if you linked has many to a certain class, you have to link it back as a belong to. So the way it works is that so under package history, if package has many package history should have package ID, package underscore ID. So for example, since the package history belongs to the package, it should have a package ID. Since the package history also belongs to a user, like a user creates a package history, so it would also have a user ID. And this one, so this is the status. So yeah, so this one's like the package ID. So I have these columns it already ready under the migration, so it's there. Yes. So that is defining relationships with the models. So right now I'm on 5.6, and all you need to do is to follow the installation, migrate some tables. If you do migration after requiring passport, it will automatically add these, and then do passport install, and then you have to add has API tokens under the user model. And yeah, so basically we just follow these, and after this I also copied off of a tutorial the auth controller, which includes sign up, log in, and log out. So to be able to work with the API, I had to log in first. I mean, sign up. I sign up, and then I log in. And once logged in, I get the access token, which I can use now in any of the here authorization bearer access token. So if you don't have this, you just have to application. So you have to have this accept application JSON to get this. Otherwise, it will return the like the web view of it. So yeah, so it's unauthenticated, and if it's whoops, I logged myself out. Okay, have to log in again. There. Then we copy it. Okay. Put it in my environment. Right. Okay. So that's for authentication. Of course, we also have to link that on the API routes. So we put middleware of API, and everything inside here requires you to have that bearer token, bearer headers. So take note that API.php automatically prefixes everything inside with /API. So for example, for this one is supposed to be accessible outside of the authentication. So we'll be able to access this through localhost /API/track/IDs. Yeah. So I didn't know this before. So yeah. So this is the API. Also, when creating controllers, let me jump back to that. You can API resource. Oh wait, that's not it. Okay, when routing the packages, API, when you use API resource, it automatically disables the, I've already deleted them, the view part, the create and the show, like the edit version of it, like the web view parts. So it automatically acknowledges that you're creating an API and you don't need to do web views. So we can view the routes via route list to double check everything, if everything is, yeah. So I usually check this before I move on. Right. So that's for the routes. Next we have controllers. So let's go through the CRUD. So this is the package controller. So index is like the get all, and then we have store, which is like the post, show, which is get one, and then update, which is just update, not create, then destroys delete. Okay, so in the controller, in like the recent Laravel versions, we are already allowed to format our own requests and format our own pack resources. So what is a resource? A resource is a way to format the output. So for example, package, I want all the packages to be, let's see, let's go here, all the packages, I want them to not return everything, but to return it in a certain format. So I do package resource. I create a package resource also via PHP artisan make resource, like that. And then it creates a resource. And then package resource, don't forget to reference it. Package resource, there you go. So I just define that. You can also put in use carbon. You can also put in the has many relationship and reference another resource, format it again. So one more word here. There are two types of resources. One is a collection, one is a resource. So everything that I use right now is resource. I tried using collection, but I couldn't make it work. It's like meant to be for something else. So package resource, if you're gonna use like singular, if this wasn't a collection, so this has to be a collection versus an array. So collection is like a Laravel specific array type, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's not a collection, if it's like just first, or if it's just find a specific package, so it's just a singular, you're gonna use new package resource. Otherwise, use their collection to be able to work with a collection of data. So it returns like this, a collection of data. Also, let's see. Since I used paginate, the collection resource returns the metalinks for the pagination. For the request, it's awesome as well because you don't have to do validation inside. You just have to tell, let's see. So for this, we want it to be a specific package request. We want these fields to be required, and I want this field tracking to be unique to the packages table. So I just have to define the rules. I switch this to true, so originally it was false, and then I can use it here. And then if I didn't supply everything, it will return an error before it even goes in. So it's pretty cool. It keeps your codes pretty clean. One more area where I took my time, the filters, right? So apparently you can also do this, and you can also do conditional filters. And when you do conditional filters, you can do chaining of conditional filters. And there are parts here wherein I had to work with the contents of the latest history, which is like a child or another table. So I had to do for each of the history. So with that, I couldn't do chaining. So I had to do a simple conditional statement and then go create this function, and then I do for each inside. So I return the packages. Alright. And then at the end of the day, before I'll be able to do the pagination, it has to be a collection. So these functions return my packages as an array, so I had to collect them, and then that's the time I can do pagination. So I extracted the pagination separately. So there's I had to do it manually because the paginate doesn't work because it's a lot of chaining. Paginate works here, but because I have to do have to iterate over each of the other table, the paginated doesn't work. So I have to do it manually. I have to simulate it. Yeah. So for the file upload, so Postman allows you to upload files via API with the form data attribute. So you can select file and then just choose here. So it's a CSV file. So with the file upload, for example, in here, so by this time I've already created like queuing and jobs. So queuing is since uploading and inserting data in your database is very computationally heavy for the server. So sometimes you'd get like response takes a long time before it goes to your client, or it responds back to the client. So it you get server timeout. So to avoid that, I'm not sure if that avoids it, but at least on the user side, they don't have to wait. We queue it to the queue, and then Laravel has workers, and then the workers would work on the queue one by one. So we can talk about that later. First, I was able to do a file upload request to check if it's required, and then I restricted it to CSV and text types. So I validate if the packages is there, and then I get it, and then I convert the CSV to a collection. So I actually open the file. So this function right here, okay, its function right here opens up the file, reads it, and opens a file, reads it, and then does a while if else loop, and then creates a collection out of it. I need it to be in collection format so I can do chunking, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it work. So this will do for now. So after this, I pass it on to my job. So the job, you need to create the job to here. You need to create a job to process like what the workers are going to do with whatever work you give them. So to create a job, you can also do this PHP artisan make job, and then basically I did this without the dispatch, without the job first, and then later on I moved it here. So with the job, I simply did with a bulk upload and insert. I simply did a for each, and then saved it one by one. I'm not sure if that's a good practice. Yeah. So I created a job, file upload update, which is this one. Wait, let's go to new. That's simpler. File upload new. So it dispatches the packages. So I have to create this one. You shouldn't miss this one, this step. Do not miss this step. So protected packages, and then you make it a local variable, and then you can use it here later on. So yeah, so after this is done, I send an email to the user that the new packages has been uploaded. I'm also using log, which I find to be useful, and I can find the logs here in Laravel log. So I can do a log info, log error, and I have to don't forget to add the namespace to be able to use that. Q. Okay, so I use this command, and it should be running on your server. Other than the PHP artisan serve, you should be able to run this. They both should be running, and you have to put this. So the first time I did it, I didn't have tries equals 3. So because when you create a job, you'll also create a table. There are installation instructions on Laravel's website. So there will be attempts here, and the attempts here, the column here is limited to, see, tiny int, which is up to 255. So once it hit 256, it just kept returning error. So I restricted it to just 3 tries. If it fails, it stops. How to make Gmail work. So you put my passwords here. So you put your SMTP file, you put this here. You put your Gmail, the port, TLS versus SSL, username, password, and then that wouldn't be enough because Gmail, you would need to, let's see, you need to do several things first. So you go to settings, you have to make it less secure. Go to forwarding, you enable POP, and then you enable IMAP. Okay, and then click save. And then after that, you go to your settings, your Google account, right? Google account, you go to sign in and security, scroll down, then you have to turn this on. After that, you'll be able to receive the messages via mail. Right. Let's do the file upload new. So yeah, there. So yes, I think that's everything for now that I've learned with Laravel in the past week. So if you have any more questions, just message me below. Thank you.